So today we're going down to Hemel Hempstead from Birmingham to go and see my uncle and do a little interview with him regarding prostate cancer. As you may have seen in the other video that I did say that he's suffered with it quite bad, bless him. So yeah, today we're going to head down to Hemel Hempstead and ask a few questions about his journey he's been on with prostate cancer and build a bit more awareness to prostate cancer. So yeah, this video is just going to be just an interview with my uncle. So if you'd like to give us a follow, give us a few likes, listen to the words he's got to say, and let's bring some awareness to what's going on in the world. You know, because as I said before, we are all so busy. We don't look after each other. Well, we like to say we do, but we don't. And yeah, let's look out for one another. This rally does mean something to all of us that are taking part in it, and yeah, let's get it done.
Hi, well, I'm Uncle Adrian, sometimes known as the Unk. We've been a big part of each other's lives since John was a wee lad, and I'm really proud of what he's doing. And yeah, I'm proud to say I'm a survivor of prostate cancer. So yeah, we're looking to raise a lot of money to help the cause. So we're really, trying to twist all your arms to donate to this really worthwhile cause. Many of you may not know that more men are dying of prostate cancer than women of breast cancer, so the message really needs to get out there about men taking care of their own health.
Okay, so we've got a couple of questions with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So how did you find out that you had prostate cancer?
Well, that's really interesting, because I was at the hospital and there was a leaflet on the side, and it said, "Are you experiencing any of these problems? You know, impaired erectile function, going to the loo at night or more, reduced stream." And I thought, yeah, well, possibly, I can tick the box of all of those. And when I go to the doctor to get the results of this visit, I'll mention it to him. So yeah, that's how I first started thinking about, might I have prostate cancer?
So you didn't have any feelings amongst yourself, or you didn't?
No, it's just very, very slight symptoms which I hadn't really connected up until that point. So it was just by chance I picked up, the leaflet in the A&E. So yeah, it was.
So if obviously you were quite lucky, then you just happened to be in the right place at the right time, picking up the right leaflet. If there's many people out there at the moment that aren't in the right place at the right time, how would they go about thinking they might have prostate cancer? Or
that's again a really good question. The treatment, the diagnosis has changed a lot. So when I went, it was about 4 or 5 years ago now, I went to saw the doctor. He gave me the old physical examination and said, "I can't feel anything. I don't think there's anything to worry about, but to put your mind at rest," he said, "I'll do a blood test if you want." And I went, "Yes, please."
okay.
And then the next morning I get a call, "Can you come and see us because your results are high?"
Okay.
And that's when I knew that I was in trouble.
So what if many men out there at the point of that blood test where they had an option to walk out, they would have done?
They would have done then. Thankfully, in more recent years, it seems to be a willingness for men to get that test when they go and ask for it. Men over 50 should really be getting that test done.
Okay.
It's a simple blood test. It's not that expensive for the NHS, and although the low results can be borderline, it can give you a very early indication with something that's going on. And regular blood tests establish a baseline. If something starts to rise, then they know there's something wrong. The blood test is called a PSA test.
Okay.
Prostate-specific antigen test. It measures a marker that's produced from prostate tissue. If that starts to rise, then it means that there's more prostate tissue being there, and catch it early, and there's a whole range of options, and it doesn't necessarily include surgery in the very early phases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you first found out you had prostate cancer, It's obviously a massive blow to anyone's system. How did you deal with that?
Well, again, the first thing they did was actually send. I saw a specialist, really good guy, down at Watford Hospital. He gave me the physical examination. He says, "I think I think you're going to be all right. It might be enlarged." He says, "But we'll get an MRI scan." Anyway, I went in to get the results of my MRI scan. I looked at his face. I said, "It's not good news, is it?" He said, "I'm afraid not." He said, "It's gone outside your prostate. It's a really large mass." So he talked about bone scans and quality of life, and Ellen, my wife, is in bits. I was in a strange place really, because I immediately started thinking about the life I'd had, and actually being a good life. You know, I was like close to you and I've got lovely people around me. And he said, "We'll go and get a biopsy done." Anyway, I came back after the biopsy and there was a different look on his face, and he said, "It's good news." He said, "It's just a very large mass, and it hasn't metastasized, which means that the cells hadn't started, breaking off and going to other parts of my body." He said, "No, we're looking at surgery or radiation." He said, "It's going to be an intense process," but he said, "I reckon this has been going for 5 or 10 years to get to this size."
Wow.
So I was 62, 63 then, which means had I been getting those early tests, I may have caught it. But of course, it wasn't a routine procedure for your doctor to give you a regular PSA test.
Wow.
So I feel very, very lucky.
You are?
Yeah.
And we're very grateful, to be fair. So did you find there was much support out there for you?
Well, Prostate Cancer UK is a great charity. They've got lots of information. There's a helpline you can call. And what I think was amazing was the support of friends and family. Some friends were not able to deal with it, to be honest, and I kind of understand that, because confronting a friend's mortality it can be quite hard, and others step forward. You were an absolute brick. Daily calls, how you doing, the hugs and stuff like that. And mate, when I got my first diagnosis, turns up with a bag of bacon to have bacon sandwiches with me sat down here, and thanks Martin. That was just what I wanted. It's just so important, the support you have of the people around you, I had the surgery. It was pretty invasive, to be honest. It took me a couple of years before I got my continence back.
That must be quite hard to go through in itself.
It is, and getting used to all of that. But my advice is, guys, persevere with those pelvic floor exercises. That makes a huge amount of difference. And in my case, the tumour had built around the nerves that control erectile function, so that means a bit of readjustment to my life. But again, catch it early, guys. You won't be going down my route.
It's fair enough. So when you said you got a lot of friends and family that helped you out, what would you say to those that are on their own, who don't have friends and family and are really scared about going through it?
Well, there is a lot of support out there from Prostate Cancer UK. They've got helplines. What you find is, when you have prostate cancer, other people step forward who've had it. I talk about it regularly. When I've just moved to a yearly check now, so I do quite a lot of public speaking in the work that I do. So around that time, I will always ask if I could have an extra 5 minutes to talk about prostate cancer. And it's fascinating. Always somebody comes up afterwards, "Thanks for that, I'm going to get checked." And I think it's 5 or 6 people now that I know that have gone and got checked as a result of my talking about my prostate, and they've been picked up, and hopefully their lives saved. So it's really important to talk about it. A lot of men feel uncomfortable talking about this, the whole subject. you can get the blood test without the need for a rectal examination, which I think has put a lot of men off. Did put a lot of men off. So just speaking to the men who are watching this, ask your doctor just to tick the box on if you're having a blood test, or ask for that blood test. And for the ladies around, guys over a certain age, if you see them getting up to the loo a bit more often, talk about their prostate health and the importance of getting the test. And I'll give you one really good example. I was in a pub in Birmingham. There was a couple on the table next to me, and he's popping up and down to the loo a lot. And I said to his wife, I really don't mean to interfere. Is he okay? She said, yeah, he started going to the loo a lot. I said, has he had a test for prostate cancer? She said, would you talk to him? And I went, yeah. So he came back, and I said, you're going to the loo a lot. I said, I hope you don't mind me saying. I said, but I'm a survivor of prostate cancer, and I had you thought about getting a test? And he said, well, I had. And he said, my dad's got it. And I said, well, why don't you just go, put your big boy pants on, go and get that test? And he went, I will. How did that happen? It would not normally make a comment on somebody going to the loo, as in that occasion it turned out right. I don't do that very often because I get my lights punched out, but it's the symptoms are right beneath your nose, really, and when it came to going to the loo more, the doctor said, that's normal, and I said, I don't seem to have a stronger stream, which is the other symptom. And he said, they do a test. You pee into a loo and it weighs how much pee you produce in a certain amount of time. He said, there's nothing wrong with your flow. And the impaired erectile function was, he said, we can always sort that out. But let's get all the tests done first. And of course, it was prostate cancer. And I'm here, talking about it, several years later, with a lot of strengthened friendships, and hopefully playing the part in getting more men tested and saving their lives.
How do you find your life now? Now you're on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's okay. I really appreciate life. You've come down for the weekend to do this, and it's like really quality time. These are memories, Christmases, birthdays, or a beautiful sunset. You look at that and say, God, life's good. It just makes you appreciate the good things in life. Those friends and moments in your life that you might take for granted, you kind of quietly celebrate them now. I think that helped me get through sort of some of the depressive aspects of coming to terms with where I am, so yeah, I mean, just talk to people as well. And if you're a guy going through this and you're feeling down, just talk to a mate, or just tell people that you're feeling a bit vulnerable at the moment, or you're just having a bad day. People really do understand, so there is help out there, but the biggest thing for me was the love of the people around me. That's what got me through it. So I'm really proud of what you're doing.
Well, hopefully we make it. Hopefully.
I see all the work you're putting into the car, and I aim to be around to see you do many more of these rallies. The next one, I think, is the European rally, isn't it?
We're doing the broad one and hopefully go over there.
Yeah.
But, you're going to come meet at the finish line, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So that's my own road trip up to Perth, which it's a long journey. I mean, we give me a time to reflect on what you're doing, and your mate Pete, and it's Carl, isn't it?
Yes,
hats off to them. Also, I know how hard you've been working on the car. How much was you spent on the car?
So we brought the car for £450. For a Volvo V70 is not too bad. We had a bit of trouble with it along the way, but yeah, I would have brought it down today, but hence the alternator going.
Yeah.
Unable to bring it down, but we'll get it back on the road again for the fourth time now, probably. But yeah, hopefully we nip all this stuff in the book now rather than on the way to Scotland, and
Yeah,
with a bit of luck and wind behind us, we'll get to the finish line.
well, if you don't make it to Perth, let me know and I'll drag you there with a tow rope. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, love you, man.
Love you.